Okay, welcome to today's webinar in the 2020 webinar series, Navigating Collaborative Opportunities Through MyAMATYC. Our panelists are Evan Evans, Karen Gaines, and Julie Phelps. This is sponsored by the AMATYC Standards Committee. The views expressed by the presenters are not necessarily the views of AMATYC, and any commercial products mentioned by the presenters are not endorsed by AMATYC. I'd like to thank McGraw-Hill Higher Education for supporting the 2020 AMATYC webinar series. And I will stop and switch over and let the panelists begin theirs. I will let them introduce themselves. They will be monitoring the chat throughout the webinar, so if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. They will try to answer them if they can as we go along. Otherwise, we'll have some time at the end for questions. That being said, I will turn it over to Karen, Evan, and Julie.
All right. Hi, I'm Karen Gaines. I'm going to start things off. I am the online communities coordinator for MyAMATYC, which basically means I'm kind of in charge of the MyAMATYC site. Julie and Evan are my sidekicks who have been helping me out quite a bit as we get this up and running. And what we wanted to do today is to walk you through the site and help you to navigate it so that you can really take advantage of all of the opportunities we have on the site. I'm going to be taking you through the main overall site first, and then Evan's going to take you through ImpactLive, and Julie's going to do communities. And I want you to look at the logo we have here for the MyAMATYC site. You'll notice we have three colors: blue, the infamous AMATYC gold, goldy yellow, orange color, and the ImpactLive lime green. This site really does have these three components. So you have the main MyAMATYC site. Excuse me. This is where you can network with others. You can see we have resources really big here. I'll circle with my mouse. I'm going to walk you through some of these resources we have, but then we also have the opportunity for you to join communities, which Julie will talk about. And of course, this really all started because of the impact document. We wanted to keep it live. We wanted it to be ever changing. So a large part of this site involves the ImpactLive pages, which Evan will give you a tour through. And that that does include some research aspects to it. So you'll notice research is in green. So if you kind of compartmentalize those three parts of this website, that's what we're trying to help you see the overall picture here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you through very basic navigation. I know you're all intelligent and you've actually been on websites before, but there are a couple things unique to our site. So I'm just going to walk through those. And then I'm going to show you how on the major part of the site, how you can get involved through browsing and participating. So that's kind of where we're headed. I'm going to go ahead and get on the site. Excuse me. Right now I'm not signed in, and I did that on purpose. I am on the home page, and notice that the nav bar is blue. That means you're on the main part of the site. You'll see when Julie takes over that changes. But we always start out with the spotlight of the month, which Evan will talk about. But as I scroll down here, this is the latest of the content that's been on the site. Now I'm not signed in. So the only thing the general public will see are upcoming events, and these are mostly AMATYC webinars, announcements that have popped up anywhere on the community. The shared files are only files that are accessible to everyone, and I'm going to kind of go into that in just a moment. And you'll notice they can't even see any discussions. I just put a poll up today. I hope all of you will log in after we're done and look at the site and maybe participate in this poll. But I'm going to go ahead and sign in as myself now. So and it automatically did this because I'm signed in so much. It keeps me going. But if you have trouble when you go to sign in, if it does not take your login, which is your normal AMATYC login, then if you contact the AMATYC office, they can straighten out. Sometimes people have lapsed memberships, etc. So if you have troubles, just let the office know. If you have trouble with the site, if you notice at the top, the contact us actually goes to me as the OCC, so I can answer questions about the site. So what I want to do first is, I told you, I know you know how to navigate, but if you notice on when I do the home here, MyAMATYC is this landing page. ImpactLive is the section that Evan's going to look at, and you can also go to the regular amatyc.org. These are two different sites, but it is a quick way to get there. And if you know your membership's lapsed and that's why you can't sign in, we added this additional link here to go directly to renew your membership. So what I'm going to do then is focus on these two parts of the bar, the participate and the browse. First of all, this may be your best friend right here. Under participate, we do have frequently asked questions. Most of these are kind of canned from the platform that this is on. It's called Higher Logic, but we've personalized it to things that are specific to our site. If you don't find the answer to your question here, please feel free to contact me and I can help you. We have discussions. This is part of that collaboration. We want to encourage you to collaborate. So I can just click right there to start a discussion, and you have to choose where you want that discussion to go. If this is in one of the communities that Julie's going to talk about, you can choose any of those communities. If you want everyone to see it, the ImpactLive is visible to everybody. I'm not actually going to start a discussion, but it's pretty straightforward how you would actually do that. So I'm just going to cancel. I'm not going to start a discussion. I am going to, however, share a file. And I want to explain again, I want you to keep thinking about the big picture of the blue MyAMATYC part versus what Julie and Evan are going to get into. I am going to upload a file that's it's a law of sines and cosines project. And I can choose the library. Now, we have a big library that's accessible to everybody that logs in. It's called the All Access Public Library. I'm sorry, the share screen popped up right over my mouse for me. So that's where I'm going to put this. This is something I think everybody would be interested in. It's applicable to everybody no matter what their interest is, because it's an activity or a project for in class. I'm probably going to edit this later. You guys don't have to. I would put a comment in here, but I'm not going to do that, so you guys are sitting here watching me type. But you can see I just chose standard file upload. If you have just a hyperlink, you can just upload that. Not too many people are going to deal with the copyright license files. If you have a webinar that you did for maybe your affiliate or something, you could upload it here. And not too many people are going to be doing YouTube videos, but that's okay. There are over 80 types of files you can upload. So most likely, whatever format you have something in, it'll post, including, you know, MP4s and PDF and Word and Excel and things I've never heard of. I believe in the frequently asked questions, I might have added a document that tells you what you can. If not, I'm going to do that as soon as we're done. But I am just doing a standard file. This is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to go to next and hope it doesn't lock up. You guys get to see my computer here. Let's scroll down here. I know there's my law of sines and my key. And you can see I can upload two things at once, or you can do them one at a time. There's an upload more. So it's not just one file if you have more. I'm uploaded. I can finish. And when I do, I can add tags. This is going to help with the search process. This is just like on Amazon when you want to narrow down, I only want to spend $5 or I only want children's clothing, etc. This will help. So I'm going to, I didn't really think about what I wanted to do here. This is really more of a classroom activity than a project. So I think that's applicable, and it is definitely trig. I don't know that it's going to apply to anything else. So I'm just going to leave it to those two. And so that's now been added. So that's now in the library, accessible to everybody. Pretty easy. And this is what we really want you to do. We want everyone to get involved and start posting things online. The more you post, the more everybody has to share, and the more I think we're going to get traffic on this site, because we all have wonderful things we do, and the more we share, the better it is for our students when we're providing them with better content. Let's see. Then for browse, again, remember I'm on the main part of the site. If I browse a discussion post here, I will only see discussion posts that I have access to. And again, Julie's going to talk about communities when we get there. If I don't belong to a community, I won't see their discussions when I do the search. Likewise with library entries, if a community has in their private library something, when I do a search, they won't find it. But if I just go to library entries right now, you'll notice it says all access, but you can see there's some moving face-to-face. There's something I posted in the leadership. So I'm seeing this because I'm logged in as myself. If any of you logged in, most of you wouldn't see, as an example, this leadership 2020. That's a private community, so you wouldn't be seeing that content. But I can, search. Again, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but this is a pretty good search engine. I just typed Mars because I posted a bunch of things from our AMATYC Mars project. So it will search not only in the title, but in the content too. And you can see over here, when you're doing that search, you can narrow it down, and this has to do with, so there's our formal tags that I was talking about. You can sort it by author. I'm hoping that we get so many library entries eventually that this is how you're going to have to search, because there's going to be so much content, you need to kind of cut it down. Right now, if you type a search word, it probably won't take you long to find what you want. But we are setting up then for being able to refine that search. Okay, and of course the stop shares on top of my thing there. Okay, I'm going to do a directory search, and I have to tell you, this over here where it says find anyone, that's just because I'm a super administrator, but you'll be able to search. A basic search is only going to search people that you have formally said you will be a contact with. If you agree to be a contact with someone, they will have a little bit more information about you accessible. Otherwise, people can just see your name, and I believe it's just the college and the city you're in. I think those are the only things that show up. But I'm going to go ahead and do a search on somebody, because Julie's going to search the same person later. This is one of our VPs. So you can see I found her. Actually, I guess she's a contact of mine. I should have done that. I'm going to go back. If someone's not a contact of yours, it's not going to find it. So under advanced search, that really is truly advanced. If you know certain things about a person, you could type it in here. But you'll notice this now says find members. So anybody that is a member of this site who has signed in and through YM has been downloaded as a member, this is where you'd want to search if you don't have them as a contact yet. So advanced search not only gives you more choices, but it truly does find anybody. So this would have found her also. And then I'm not going to go through blogs there. So again, think about, this was the whole big website. The all access public library is the big thing I want you to be contributing to and to look at. And then when we start getting to the other parts of the the site, you'll see how some of these aspects change. So I am going to stop, and Evan's going to take over with ImpactLive.
That's right. So hopefully you see my screen here is a tour of ImpactLive slide. So as long as that's good, what we're doing is now, Karen just
Who the
took us
heck are you, Evan?
What's that?
Introduce
Who the
yourself.
heck are you?
You can't see that?
What's your role with MyAMATYC?
Oh,
with
I
MyAMATYC?
gotcha. My name is Evan Evans. I'm the digital coordinator of the Standards Committee. Thank you so much. So I teach at Frederick Community College here in Frederick, Maryland. So welcome, and I thank you guys for all attending. Karen just kind of took us through the site, the overall site. What I'm going to get down is a little bit of slice of the site. So in particular, I'm going to be talking to you about ImpactLive. Now, the nice thing about ImpactLive, much like is basically once you join the site, you're going to have access to the entire site. Versus when Julie talks about communities, you need to specifically join those communities to have access to what we say behind the closed doors. You know, you have to be accepted, but everybody's automatically enrolled into to the ImpactLive site. So on ImpactLive, on our general community site, we have essentially 4 pieces to it. Besides the front page of the community, we also have impactful thoughts. We have impact in action, impact plus, and the impact itself, the impact document itself. So I'm going to explain a little bit about each of those sites individually, but I want to first guide you through some of the things that we have. So as we go through basically this impact in action, and these 4 pieces, or these 4 flags, so to speak, I want to talk a little bit more about them individually. So the thoughts, impactful thoughts, is basically our monthly blog. It's the spotlight that we do each month. So each month we have a different topic and a different host that basically goes through and spotlights a topic for that month and post up information to get feedback or to try to get some interaction going through there. Then with impact and action, it's basically our discussion posts that highlight that spotlight for that month. So this posting throughout the month, they try to keep the discussion going through on that specific topic. And then obviously the other piece is the Impactful Plus, or Impact Plus, what we have, and that is basically an extension of our impact document. So if there's additional research or articles that can extend our original document, that's where those postings will be. The nice thing is we change topics every month, but we don't lose the topics. They stay, and I'm going to show you how you can archive previous topics, because the goal is these discussions will still be going on after the month has passed. So it's not a one and done, it disappears. It's highlighted for the month, and then yes, we go to a different topic the next month, but the original topic will still be running, and you can still participate in discussions. So our true goal, like Karen talked about earlier, is for this to be a living website that's ongoing. So, and then obviously we have a hard PDF version of our impact document, which and the idea of that is we can always go back, but the idea with ImpactLive is it brings that to life and continues the research, and particularly in Plus, it extends that. For instance, obviously with remote learning now, that's obviously we couldn't even envision that when we wrote the impact document. So now we have some place where researchers can extend what they're learning about that, and we can participate in it and extend that document. So so let's go ahead and go to the website. I'm going to take you back to the website itself, and we're going to go through there and just show you how to navigate the ImpactLive. So again, like Karen talked about, the banners with all the colors, and so that helps you guide where you are. So here we are. You can see up in the upper right hand corner my beautiful picture. So I'm obviously logged in. So if you see your face in there, then you're logged in. If you're not logged in, you'll see a blue join button or a blue sign in button that you'll click. And like Karen says, it'll take you to AMATYC, and you sign in as AMATYC. So, but like I said, even if you're not a member, you can of AMATYC, you can have access to the ImpactLive here site. So on our landing page for ImpactLive, you see essentially implementing the code requisite to impact student success. This is the topic. We have our topic for the month that we're highlighting, that we're going through. It gives a brief description of what's going on, and that's obviously changing monthly. And then you have your flags here. All these flags are hot links. They can take you right to them, whether you want to go directly to the document or to Plus, but as well as up here, obviously, in the what we call the hamburger bar, you can have your drop down, and then you can also get them access there directly through there. And then other pages are what's going on in our community. So I guess I did click it. I didn't realize I clicked it. So so let's go ahead, and since we're there, let's talk about the impactful thoughts. So the impactful thoughts, this is where the monthly discussion happens. Initially, the first step of what's going on, spotlight for that month. So on this postings, the posting goes up early, the first of the month. That'll be to get the conversation going, and you can go through there and see what the spotlight is. And you can get, if you're really involved in it and you like it, you can contribute to it. And the idea is the information of what's coming up here next will be available for you. But the whole idea is if you want to get involved in this discussion, you can see down below here, there's posting the discussions of what's going on between the discussion 1, discussion 2. Normally we're averaging about 3 discussions per month for a topic. But they all happen, as you can see, is impactful, impact and action. That's where that's happening. And it appears I haven't, sorry, I had a warning on my computer. So, in fact, this is where the discussion continues on. So, for instance, the code records, the first discussion question, it happened in impact for action. This is essentially where the discussion posts happen. And if you want to participate, obviously you can sign in and actually, if you can see here, you can add to this discussion here. If you want to add to the comments and you want to add to somebody else's comments, or you just want to elaborate or add to the discussion that, from Impactful Thoughts, that would occur here. You hit your add button and you add your comment from there. And going through, then obviously, as well as an Impactful Plus, would be more research, more articles. In the past, if you want to find something in the past that we've had, you can see, as you know, you have a search bar here, but this search bar here can help you zone in and say if I wanted, my topic that I was interested in was ownership. I wanted to know a little bit more about ownership. Ironically, we had a spotlight in a month, 2 months ago about ownership. So as you can see, these topics will show up, and these are basically on ownership. You can see the discussion happen. I don't see the date. Oh, there's the date it added. So this was back in June and July is where this was a hot topic, that there was a spotlight of the month. So even though it's past due, it's no longer the spotlight of the month. The discussion can continue, and you can continue to elaborate on it. So the idea is, if there's a topic that you're interested in or that you want to find, type, like Karen said, type it up in the search bar, find it. And it could have been 2 months ago, or in the future, obviously, hopefully 2-3 years ago, there could have been some topic, and that you can, and the discussion can keep on going on, or you can find stuff that's relevant to you at that time, now, after the fact. So, and you can see, you can keep on going on, and it's just a hot link. It goes through all the possibility, all the words, keywords that you find through there. So that's Impactful in action. Let's talk about, like I can show you a little bit about Plus on the website itself. Right now, the new research will be posted on September 15th for this spotlight. But if you go back to the previous months, you can see stuff that has been posted up for the equity month spotlight. There was stuff up there for as well. And then our document, obviously our impactful impact document itself is always available. So this is a version, the PDF version of a document. We broke it down into chapters so you can kind of jump the chapters individually. This is great. I know in this time of age right now, a lot of us aren't traveling, but if you need to have justification for professional development, you can find what our organization feels about professional development, and you can quote it on your, if you're making a request to your administrators, you can use this information from the AMATYC to help that. Or if you're interested in student success, you want to find some ways, or you're writing an article, or you want to have some more research, you can simply click on the student success chapter and get some insights of where our organization stands on that. So that is always up there. And again, the whole idea is with the Impact Plus is we continue to extend the learning and the research and the material on these topics, because we're always evolving. We are always evolving and going through there. And then that being said, that being said, I need to start handing this over to Julie. So Julie, let me stop sharing my screen. I'll give you my warning that you're about to take over. As soon as I can, there it is. How to stop sharing my screen. And Julie, it's all you.
It is. So my name is Julie Phelps. Present. Whoops, not share. Let's try present. I pushed the wrong button. You know, when you have to hit share and present at the same time. No, I'm not sharing this. Stop it. Done. Okay. So my name is Julie Phelps, and I am the chair of the Standards Committee, also known as the Impact Group. And obviously, I've been working with Karen and Evan on bringing this site to life and several others in the organization. And we're excited to continue telling you about this. And I am going to highlight the communities page. You have to notice, like Karen said earlier, these have been color coded. You'll notice that right now we went from original blue to now, then we did the lime green, which meant you were inside MyAMATYC. And now we're going to be talking about the yellows. So we're going to go in and we're going to have a conversation about joining a community. I am already logged in as Mary Beth Orange. Thank you for that. Mary Beth, you probably got a warning about that. I am happy to go ahead and switch to that screen instead, since I logged in as Mary Beth. Whoops, let me get out of this. Move. There we go. All right, so you can see I am impersonating Mary Beth Orange. This is so much fun. I love that I can do that, and I only do it when I tell people I'm doing it, for the record. So don't think that I'm just going to start impersonating people randomly. When I get into here, I will say to you, I'm going to click on the My Communities, and when I look on the My Communities, this is as Mary Beth Orange. These are the communities. Hold on, let me make sure you can see Mary Beth's picture up in the top right. Up here in the right, you can tell I'm logged in as Mary Beth, and I am doing everything as Mary Beth. So in the top right, you can see my picture, and you can tell that is who I am for the purposes of what we're doing. Under My Communities, you can see what's listed. These are the communities in which she is already a member. You'll notice that it has she's a member of these particular communities because Northeast is one of the ones that she automatically was assigned to, because that's the region of AMATYC that she belongs to. And because Mary Beth is one of our Distinguished Teaching Excellence Award winners, she is also a part of that group. You are only a part of certain groups in AMATYC that you're invited to because of your region or how you were recognized. Other ones that you would be invited to would be Project Access. You're auto invited to the region, and there are some others that you would be a part of that you can join. So right now you can see these are the ones that she is a member of, and some of them are hidden to others because you have to be an invited guest. If I click on all communities, you'll now see that these are the communities that she could join. You can tell she is a member because right above, you can see there's no join button on it. She is not currently a member of Department and Division Leadership Network. If she wanted to join, she would just click that blue join button, and this is what it would look like on your end. The reason I'm not using myself is because I happen to be a member of every community. So it makes it really difficult. But I will say to you that some of the ones that don't show up here, you can still join the Student Research League, but you'll notice that some of the communities that were in her My Communities that she had to be invited to are not listed here. So you can't join, we've made it so you can't join them unless you're an invited guest to them. So that would be the first thing that I wanted to make sure I mentioned there. Under these, you can go into any of these communities. I am actually going to show you what happens when I go into, oh goodness, which one do I want to go into? Let's do Innovative Teaching and Learning. When I get in there, do you see that this bar changed to yellow? We now know that we are no longer we're in a more private part of our site. We're in a community part, and specifically the title of the community that you're in is the logo on the page. So you know you're in that community. And like I said, this bar is now gold instead of blue, and it's not green either because that's ImpactLive. So we literally are in the gold part of the site, which means that you are into the more specifics about what happens in each community. When you go here, it's the same navigation that Karen and Evan both talked about at the top. You have your ImpactLive you can still get to. If you ever wanted to go back out to MyAMATYC, you could go there. And also, it's a quick way to navigate between the parts of the site. If you wanted to, if you're working somewhere else, you can always go back to the home page of the Innovative Teaching and Learning. If you're on a blog or something, this will then be on your menu bar right there. So your ImpactLive, you can do anything in there. There's your communities where you can switch from one community to another, but let's go ahead and just participate just in this one. In this one, if I wanted to go to frequently asked questions, that's the exact same place Karen took us to before. If I click on that, which I'm going to, do you see that the toolbar changes back to blue? It takes us back to the site where Karen had us earlier. I'm going to go ahead and hit the back button and take me back to that community, and that does work. It's kind of nice every now and then when you think it's going to work and it does, so yay. If I wanted to post a discussion, there are two ways you could do that. You can either click on the participation. Please note, you could also click on start a conversation. So there are two ways you can post the discussion, the traditional way from the hamburger, or down here with the green button that says start a conversation. You can also share a file, which I'm going to show you. This looks very similar to what Karen showed earlier. You're going to put the title in. Do you see that automatically, because I'm in the community page with the gold bar, automatically it wants to put it in the Innovative Teaching and Learning community? But let's say that I decided that I didn't want to post it there. I realized I wanted to go to All Access Library. I could definitely pick it from there. If I remember correctly, I don't think that Mary Beth was a member of one of these. I'm trying to remember which one. Let me click on this again. If I click on, oh goodness, which one wasn't she a member of? I tried to remember and now my brain is fried.
Division.
That one. I even said it out loud so I would remember it. See how she wasn't a member? If I click on it, in order for her to be able to post in that community, she is going to have to join it. And this is another way it would make her join it. I'm not going to join for Mary Beth. I will cancel that out. But that is what happens when you try to post in a community that you are not a member of. It will ask you to join the community. You're going to do exactly the way that Karen said from there. Once I realized that I wanted to post in the Innovative Teaching and Learning, which is the one it was specifically in to start, I put the title, I put the description, the exact same process. And again, like she said, I don't want to go through the entire process, but I am going to cancel this because right now I don't have anything for Mary Beth to post. I know we'll be posting things later, but right now that's how you would go about posting or putting something up into the share a file. Events, that one, when you post in an events, it will basically be, it's filtering on community, so you can search what's going on in the community, but this is how you can participate. Do you see how it won't let her? There's no events in Innovative Teaching and Learning right now that what we're searching for, so there's nothing much you can do there. When I go to browse is very similar to what Karen talked about as well. So I'm going to go back one page real quick so you can see the basic page we were on a minute ago. On this page, like I said, there are a variety of things that she can do. She can also post a file this way. She didn't have to do it under the participate. She could have done it here. So both the discussion and the share file, she could have posted right there on the main site. But if you want to do it under participate, that's fine too. Under browse, whoops, it's about to expire in 5 minutes, so I have to talk fast. I have the discussion. If I wanted to look here, I can look just in this site for something that was posted, and it's got them all listed. This is basically the things that were posted in this site. So if I want to go back in time a little bit and see what people have posted and by whom, I can search just this particular community for what was posted. So that's under browse. Under library, same idea. I can just look at what was posted in this community specifically. You can see that some of them go back 10 months worth, right? We also have the directory. So remember how a little bit ago we searched for my Vice President of the Southeast. I'm wondering if Mary Beth, if she's a member of this committee or if she's a friend of Mary Beth. So I'm going to look and see if I do find members. Do you see it says no contacts found? So by just looking in this particular community, in my basic search, I cannot find her. And you can see the gold bar, it's still a gold bar. So it's literally just looking within that community specifically. And then Karen ignored blogs, but I'm going to show you that the blogs is something, this is something that we don't really talk much about. It has to do with the community and whether the community leader is using blogs. We typically don't add blog posts because of the fact that discussion seems to be where we have most of our conversations. So usually this green button isn't there, but I'm actually quite happy that I just clicked on it as a note to us that that probably shouldn't be there. My job in terms of impersonating Mary Beth are about to end, but we wanted to make sure, I'm going to stop impersonating, and I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint, pardon me. I'm going to go ahead and present again. We wanted to make sure that we talked you through quite a few of these things that were there, and we realized that it's been kind of a marathon type effort to tell you what we have to offer on the site, and it's not as active learning based. So guess what? We are about to ask you some questions. We've got two that we want you to answer right now to help us out, to figure out how to make this site better for you, our members. And we're going to send two home with you. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the poll. Check your chat, and Evan's going to have the link to these in your chat, so it might make it easier for you to do this. So let me go to the active. Whoops, I had it up, and now
Yeah, they're already, Evan already has them, the two that we're going to do. So
and they're already posted. Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm opening these up. Give me a second. I'm going to make this larger. It's activated, so you should be able to, what aspect of MyAMATYC.org would you like more information about? You can type an entire sentence, and we all should be able to see the responses as they come in, just because we're curious. We want to know what we can help our members know more about to be able to feel more comfortable using a site like this.
And while we're waiting for any answers to come in, there's a little bit of confusion, and I just want to clear it up. When we refer to this site, we just call it MyAMATYC. That's the entity that it is. But when you go to actually go to the site, it's my.amatic.org is the website. So if you type myamatic.org, you won't go anywhere. It doesn't exist anymore. So when we say MyAMATYC, it's just really the name. Okay. How to post and participate in discussions. So that depends on where you want to be. But if you go to that participate drop down, you can always start a discussion there. If you're in a community or if you're in a community, there will be what we call a widget. Those are the boxes that appear on each of the pages, and there will be a join the discussion or add to the discussion button on there. Yes, videos can be loaded. Like I said, I mentioned MP4, but you know what, I'm gonna look. I meant to post and frequently asked questions what forms work, but I'm gonna look right now and see if it's there.
So it's interesting, you know, we're trying to get more and more people to use the site by asking people to host ImpactLive to get familiar with it. And this became active as a site where we completely rolled out MyAMATYC in June or July. I think it was July. It was officially in July. In June, we did MyImpactLive. We rolled that out. It has been an interesting experience to watch as we engage our colleagues. Right now with Corona going on, I feel like it's also difficult. Like if you see a webinar of this size, I'm happy that everybody is here that came. But I will also say that I do think with all of us starting our terms and teaching fully online, there's quite a few things that seem to be getting in the way. One of the things that Karen mentioned is it would be really great if we were to share our resources better using ImpactLive. Why reinvent the wheel when somebody has already designed or developed activities to be used? So I would love to see more activity sharing personally. I didn't type that, but I would love to see how MyAMATYC.org would help me be able to share activities with others and personally.
Can you unshare for a second? And I'm going to
Yes.
answer the, with the, can videos be uploaded?
Stop share.
Okay, I'm going to share. And I went to the FAQ and it said, what kind of files can I upload? And here you can see this document lists all of the different types of files that can be uploaded. So if you're not sure, I'm going to go, I'll close that. Like I said, it was under the FAQ. What kind of files can I upload? And there's a hot link that has that. So, and I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing again, and Julie can take over.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share the second question because the answers have come in for that. So let me share screen. Give me a second and make this bigger. Sorry, full screen. I'm seeing these are very, very nice comments. I love the pay attention to the color of the nav bar, because that is super important. I have to say that was a aha moment when we were able to start doing that. And I credit Karen with that thought.
Are the community leaders required to create and monitor their groups? We create, we meaning you know, the three of us, or mostly me, I guess, with creating the communities. We create them. The community, we have all these different terms. So they're communities on MyAMATYC, but on AMATYC, the committees and ANETs each automatically have their own community. Yes, the leaders of them are actually, we have them as the community administrators. We have a couple of committees where they have a second person that helps them because they aren't as comfortable with quote being in charge of the site. But once it's set up, it's really just, you know, if they want to, hopefully they're posting information for their community. So it's kind of a mixed bag, but by default, that's who we put as the community leaders, are the committee chairs or ANET chairs. The regions, of course, the VPs are the administrator, but anybody that has help or needs help, the three of us are super admins and we can help everybody.
So the question that came up in the chat was, since there are a ton of things to investigate, what one area do you suggest to start with? That's for you, Karen.
Oh, I really think ImpactLive is a great place to start, because it is it's kind of our hot topic of the month, and you'll get, you know, you're getting brand new content. But then I would really look at the library, see what's there, and think about what's missing and what you could contribute to it. See if you can find some cool activities that may help you in your class next week. That would be.
And ultimately, that's the goal, because that's why if you yourself have some cool activities, please upload them, get them up there so we can share. That's the purpose of this whole site, is for us to share and collaborate and have that repository of activities or discussion, or take, you know, just collaborate. That is the purpose of the site. So please, if you have activities, and even if you're, you know, unsure, just do. You have something that you used a couple years ago, just get in the habit to just post it up there, and you'll be surprised at how many people can utilize those type of resources. So please participate, please, please, please.
Yeah. And when you do the library entry, the part that I skipped, the comment section, is really kind of nice too, because you could put things in there like, this is a 10-minute activity. So when people are searching, it helps them say, oh, no, I needed something that would take them a week to do. Or, you know, this really, like mine was the law of sines and cosines, and it was really about surveying. So I would probably put a little bit more information in there. So when you post documents, please feel free to elaborate to help the users on the other end understand what it is that you've posted there.
So I wanted to tag on Stacy's question. It was an interesting thing because it's definitely one of them that you're going to be taking afterwards. This survey is going to be sent out by Pat afterwards, but I just kind of wanted a quick tutorial on this particular question. One of the reasons I like Poll Everywhere is because it allows you to rank, but it's not the way that you think. Like literally I had to click on this, like say I wanted to put ImpactLive at the top. You'd think I'd just drag, but I can't. In order to make it the top one, I have to literally keep clicking up until I put it there. But at least I can do the rank order. So when you guys are, when you're doing this question to help us do what many of you have requested, to come up with a tutorial on each part and things like that, we need to know what is the highlight of what people are interested in. So one of the questions has to do with ranking the site features and the order in which you think you will use them. The second one, I'm just going to go ahead and submit that response and I'll get rid of it later. But then the second one goes to, it's supposed to go to the next question. Why am I not able? Oh, because it's down here. It's hidden. If the next one is that we also want to find out what our members would like us to highlight in ImpactLive. So the second one we're asking people to do is pick 5 topics you would like to see as spotlight. So getting back to what would engage you in the site, we're trying to find out what the interest of our members are. So this is why we asked this. And if you would like to share this survey with some of your colleagues, that would be awesome, and ask them to fill it out. That would be useful for us to make sure that we're putting up content of interest to our members. So we'd ask you to, after you get this, the link from Pat at the end of this webinar, we'd love it if you would also share it with others so that we could make sure that we're highlighting what you want us to highlight. So that basically concludes what I had to say about that. I can't see the chat right now. I'm going to stop sharing.
Yeah, I want to answer the question, how to navigate ImpactLive option is after some content. Why is that? So what we do on the ImpactLive page, landing page each month, is that introduction to the spotlight of the month. The how to navigate is just for people, if it's their first time, they don't know where to start after that. You know, what is this thoughts and plus and action? I don't know what to do. So that's why we put that down there, and that stays every month. You know, hopefully, ultimately, everybody will be navigating through there a lot easier. But and it is interesting. Each month we have a different group hosting, and so then they really get active on the site, and they have suggestions of navigation. So we've changed some navigation things, but I know for me, there's nothing more irritating than when you finally know how to use a site and then they decide, oh, let's change everything. So we try not to do anything too drastic, but we do try to add features that make it easier to navigate or to know where you should go. So we're always up for suggestions.
Are there any other questions that you guys may have?
I literally closed the PowerPoint, so I have that's literally all we had left, but I don't know why I closed it. But yeah, and I wanted to say, Marie, the other part of that question is, I want to also respect the communities that are taking the time to host. So I want to make sure that we definitely have access to the communities, because part of hosting the site allows for our members to learn more about what's happening. So in addition to what Karen said, it does feel to me like I want to honor all of our members that are taking the time in their busy schedule to actually put things up online and to engage our community in conversation.
Yeah, our spotlight of the month really has two purposes. Well, maybe 3, I don't know, but trying to keep content new, but we are trying to introduce members to different committees and ANETs, and to the impact document. And as a part of that, not only getting people to know about those different groups, but also who's involved. We've tried to introduce either the committee chair, if it's one of the committees or ANETs, or the board liaison, because we think it's important for people to get to know our executive board. So it's just another way to really build our community. So you see what's out there and who's doing what.
Yeah, it was one of the things that was brought to my attention when I became a member of AMATYC was that I didn't necessarily know my board member. They don't present at the conferences.
Because they're so busy with meetings,
right.
It's not their fault.
So no, and I'm saying this out loud, but it surprised me because I said, oh, they're in charge of our region, but I don't know much about what they do. So we wanted to make sure that we could highlight different people in our organization that don't have the time to present at our conferences, and they might not be able to do the traveling workshops. And we want to make sure that everybody is aware of the expertise we have in our organization to bring in interested parties to be a part of what we talk about and do. And I think, any more questions?
Yeah, we have some time left. I know some of it sounds like I've already kind of got on the site and started playing. We can hang around for a little while if you end up having questions through the chat. And Julie, I don't know if there's any we didn't address on the first poll.
No, I checked.
Okay.
I mean, I closed it, but I can reopen it and look again. But I think Pat is getting ready to tell everybody other stuff. We can hang out for a little bit, but I also thought he would address everybody.
And we appreciate this opportunity. Even though this is a small group, this reminds me of the commercial of you tell two friends and they tell two friends and they tell two friends. That's what we're hoping will happen, that you will get into the site and you will share with your department or other colleagues how easy this is and what wonderful content we have up there, and spread the word, because that's how this is going to happen. We're trying to get traffic on the site, and we appreciate you coming today. I know this is a very busy time for everybody.
Okay, well, thank you all for coming. I have a few comments as they mentioned, and then you can stay and ask questions if you have them. But if you haven't already done so, by way of a chat comment, let's thank Karen and Evan and Julie for their work on putting this webinar together and sharing this information. If you are not a member of AMATYC, we would like you to consider joining. We are on Facebook, so facebook.com/AMATYC to get a lot of good information. We have more PD opportunities. We have the conferences. The Spokane conference on site has been postponed, but they are planning a virtual conference for the Fridays, November 6th, 13th, and 20th. So be on the lookout for more information there. 2021, hopefully we'll be back on site in Phoenix. There are more webinars and traveling workshops coming. I'll be sending out the materials to this webinar, hopefully within the next day or so. And then here is the, in addition to the survey that the panelists wanted you to participate in, here's the link to the evaluation of the webinar today, along with the QR code. And I will put this link in the chat and send it out with the follow-up email for this webinar. So once again, I'd just like to say thank you to Karen and Evan and Julie for everything you've done. Thank you all for joining us. And if you want to stay and ask questions, they've said they'll stick around for a little while. Otherwise, have a good day and be on the lookout for more webinars.
And I will say under events, any AMATYC webinar automatically gets sent to the MyAMATYC site. So if you're on the MyAMATYC site, you can see any of the webinars that have been as they get truly scheduled. So it's another quick place to see those kind of things.
All right, any questions for the presenters? We're almost we're almost back down to more panelists than attendees at this point, so I think we're winding this down.
Yeah, we want to thank you all for coming. It was really, really, it was nice to be able to share a lot of the work that we've been doing for months now. I do feel like Karen and Evan have become my brother and sister in this work, and we have sibling rivalries just like we all do. So it's really fun I love that I got to say to Evan, who the hell are you? I'm sorry, who the heck are you? Excuse me. Oh my gosh. And then there was thunderstorm out my window.